Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney.
I'm Priscilla Casper. We continue to follow developing news out of Maricopa County. The health department says it's identified the state's first probable monkeypox case. The suspected patient is a man in his late 30s who is currently in isolation and recovering.
Monkeypox is a viral illness that spreads mostly through skin-to-skin contact. According to the World Health Organization, the majority of those cases have been spread through sexual contact. The health department says it's important to note the virus still remains a rare disease in the U.S., and most patients fully recover from the virus without any treatment.
Unlike SARS-CoV-2, right, the cause of the current pandemic, this is not a new virus, right? Scientists, we've been studying this virus for a long time, and we really do understand this virus a lot better than we understand SARS-CoV-2 that causes COVID-19.
The illness usually begins with a fever and then becomes a rash that can appear anywhere on the skin, with small bumps eventually filling up with fluid that can infect others if touched.
Now to the latest on the man scheduled to be put to death by the state tomorrow. Frank Jarvis Atwood is scheduled to be executed for the 1984 kidnapping and murder of Vicki Lynn Hoskinson. In the meantime, his attorneys continue to file last-minute appeals on his behalf. This morning, a motion brought by the ACLU over a violation of open meetings law was denied, as well as a motion sent to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco. Now his attorneys have filed a motion with the Arizona Supreme Court asking for a new trial after the Pima County Superior Court already denied a petition for that same request.
For nearly 38 years, the family of Vicki Lynn Hoskinson has waited for justice. The family says it's time to follow through with the Arizona law, and that is for Atwood to be executed for the crime he was convicted of. From the beginning, Atwood has maintained his innocence. The family says they have spent half of their lives making sure Vicki Lynn is not forgotten and wanting people to know their 8-year-old daughter at the time didn't die in vain.
Yes. Finally, justice for Vicki, because that's who it's about. It's justice for her. She's the one that suffered that day. We were secondary victims.
And that execution is scheduled for tomorrow morning in Florence. Atwood will die by lethal injection.
The murder of Vicki Lynn shocked the Tucson community, and some Tucsonans still vividly remember that period of time right after the killing. News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink spoke to a neighbor who lived across the street from where the 8-year-old went to school. Eric.
Sean, Vicki Lynn was just starting 3rd grade here at Homer Davis Elementary. On September 17, 1984, she rode her bike down the street to mail a birthday card to her aunt and never came home. Vicki Lynn's disappearance and murder changed the city of Tucson. The case involving Vicki Lynn was the largest in the city's history. We spoke with a neighbor this afternoon who's lived in her home in the Flowing Wells neighborhood for more than 40 years. She does not want to be identified, but she tells us she clearly remembers the days after Vicki Lynn went missing.
They set up a command post across the street at the school, I remember that, and that the neighborhood was very up in arms about it. You know, you have this little 8-year-old girl that's been, that's disappeared, and then just find out that, she's been murdered.
And this neighbor tells us she clearly remembers the day she found out that Frank Atwood was convicted of Vicki Lynn's murder. She says she was at work. She came home and she says there was a feeling of relief that echoed across this community. We will have more on how the community remembers Vicki Lynn Hoskinson coming up tonight at 10 o'clock.